That is where we will pick up tonight. As the ocean rushes in and fills the tomb, the party hurries back up into the temple and out into the twilight air along the coast. The next hour is a whirlwind. As the Sunset Village is evacuated, told that the fiends in the tomb have corrupted the very land and that it is no longer safe to remain. The long 4-hour trudge back to Moon Bay is a quiet one. People despair, trying to figure out what they'll do, as they don't know if they'll ever be able to return to their homes. Their livelihoods, possessions, even bodies of loved ones had to be left behind. And for the whispers and silence, it was time to finally stop and think, to reflect on what they'd seen in the crypt. The dread demon of hatred, the queen of darkness, the hell plague, lived again, and against such a reality, it might be easy to think that nothing they'd accomplished actually mattered. But while they would never know it, elsewhere on Terrasen, their influence was still being felt. In Mina's Grove, a young girl stumbles and trips, her favorite book sliding across the floor of the Temple of Delenfer. She feels around on the floor, trying to find the book she was finally learning how to read. Suddenly, a hand touches her shoulder, and the book is handed to her. And the voice of another young girl speaks to her. "Hi, I'm Sifu. Your eyes are really cool." The girl smiles. "Oh, thank you. I'm Melly. Do you want to see the goat?" Sifu grins excitedly. "Sure." And they both run off together. A stone's throw away, a woman walks along the street with a cloak over her head. She twirls a coin in her fingers and looks as just ahead an older woman finishes paying for something at a stall. But as she goes to put her coin purse back on her belt, it slips through and falls to the ground. The older woman doesn't seem to notice. Walking over, Carmen kneels down to pick up the coin purse. It's an easier score than she's used to, but who would turn down free gold? She pauses then, frowning, and with a heavy sigh, she hurries to catch up with the old woman and return her money. Across town, a halfling man is holding his son's hand as he walks toward the market. He is telling the story of the strange adventurers who went to Mina's Reach and saved the people there, the son enraptured by the tale. And as they walk along, he sees a tiefling being hassled by an elven man in the city. This is not his responsibility right now. He's not on duty. He's with his son, just trying to enjoy a day off. Besides, he knows how to recognize when something is going to turn dangerous, and this isn't that. And yet, thinking on the adventurer's words, and noticing that his son is also watching, Captain Sageland finally nods and calls out, "Hey! Leave him alone. He's not bothering you any. Get lost." And then runs over to help the tiefling back to their feet. In the market, a grocer sighs as he looks to the barista that works in the shop with him. She raises an eyebrow. "Are you certain you wish to do that?" she asks, and he nods. "I think it's the least I can do after the accusations I made," he replies. She nods. "Then I'll meet with the matriarch and let her know you'll be sending some free shipments of groceries while they recover." In Lockheed's Haven, a tall, muscular tiefling, wearing a jacket with a golden hand on the breast, walks towards the massive pyre. She frowns, tears dripping down her cheeks as she looks at the 15 corpses mounted on the pyre. So many who had turned to such despair, and so many lives lost needlessly. Another tiefling approaches her, handing her a torch. "Matriarch Rashaya?" they whisper with a bow. Solemnly, she takes the torch and looks to her people. "Mayor Ashfist reached out to me today, and I'm going to meet with her on how our people can truly integrate into Mina's Grove. In the past, we've rebuffed such overtures, but this tragedy has shown that we can no longer do things the way we have. It is time for the tieflings of the Haven to become a part of our home, not an outlier of it." And she tosses the torch onto the pyre. Up in Mitra Centauran, far from where the party has journeyed, Lieutenant Rayner finally returns home for the first time in a year. With Mina's Reach now abandoned, it was an easy enough choice to return home to his child with the money he managed to earn. Opening the door to his kitchen, he calls to his adoptive daughter, Kelsey. A girl in her teens glances into the kitchen, blinking in surprise. Father, she calls and runs over to hug him tightly. Unlike her father, she is not a Dia Asanil, but a Dia an Nadwir. A Dia an Nadwir who has communed with her Nadwir spirit much earlier than most manage. The small hemlock dragon rests on her shoulder as they embrace. Far to the north, a dwarven man looks up at the starry night sky, a confident smile on his face at what he sees. A voice grumbles out, "That insufferable, vile little maggot." The dwarf turns, his smile never breaking. "Ah, I presume you've secured the spark and the gem?" The full fury of a dread demon glares at him behind Scala's eyes, and he raises an eyebrow. "The bones for your body, the spark for your spirit, the gem for your magic, the sword for your strength, and the diadem for your knowledge. Did you not acquire your pieces?" The dread demon glowers. "I got my spark, but that miserable, wretched little paladin destroyed the gem." The dwarf considers that for a moment. "Then your magic is lost, or at least you'll have to rebuild it the old-fashioned way. Well, I was able to secure the diadem, though your information as to the sword was no good. Someone has deduced your plan. The sword was stolen long before I arrived." And at that, Scala's eyes narrow. "Can you find it, Folknir?" Saren smiles, casting a glance up at the heavens at that. "Oh, I'll find it," Scala chuckles. "Very well. And once you do, I will show you how to make the moon rise in the west." And in stone's throw, a man sits up suddenly in bed, crying out in pain. The nurse quickly hurries to his side, pushing him back down to his back. "Please, you must lay down. The wounds will never heal fully, but you'll survive at least if you rest." With a grunt, he looks around the room. What happened in Mina's Grove?" he demands, his voice ragged and hoarse. The nurse frowns. "The Grand Inquisitor still hasn't returned. Once you're able, he's left you in charge here, Inquisitor Sunvale." And in Moonbay, the party is given temporary lodging at the Temple of the Onredo. Lustitia is given a room with a bed to rest, and Priestess Morena stays with her to try and examine her. She promises that she will do all she can to help. The rest of you are taken to a communal area where a meal is provided. The room that you all find yourselves in is usually reserved for the Onredo's guests. It is a small dining room, but very elegantly decorated with various scrolls and paintings of various divinities and of prior Onredo. Currently, you are by yourselves in this room, as you are just given a healthy meal of things like rice, pork, fish, and salads, and are just allowed some time to eat and recover, although you have been told that the priestess will be with you shortly.
All right. Rialto will probably spend time to help those who might need healing.
Yeah. You're all able to at least short rest right now, but...
That's good. I think I need it.
Well, it's been 4 hours. Like, you guys have had time to short rest, so yeah, you're good there. You have not had a chance to long rest yet.
Don't remember what my HP was at, unfortunately.
I was gonna say, yeah. It was on
everything
my
reset
token.
when I leveled.
Yeah.
One moment, I got you.
Well, we had a bunch of us had died, I thought.
Yeah.
Everyone, no, sorry. So Caldana, you have 13 HP. Everyone else has 1.
There we go. That works.
Yeah, I thought I got reduced to 1.
Yep.
I
Yeah,
didn't
no one
die.
died because Lustitia took the hit.
I would like to remind you, actually, that I
You
was
would have
reduced to
actually
1
survived with 1. That's
regardless.
true.
Okay, this
That's
is
true.
very important. All right.
Well, I'm gonna use not
Yeah, I'm gonna use
hit
2
die. That's
of
what I was
my
trying to
hit
use.
dice.
Use 3 hit
Yeah.
By the way,
die.
shout out to Robbie Landis, twitch.tv/Robbie_Landis for the inspiration to do the what is happening elsewhere in the world right now.
Yeah, that was cool.
But yeah,
You know what? I'll go all in.
Oh my god, I hate it. I hate it. Can never remember if it's /R or R/. I hate it
Why would it be r/?
because it is on the bot that we have on Discord.
It's r/.
There is one that is r/ and one that is /R, depending on which bot you use.
Blech.
See, I would never make that up because I'm wise. All right, I'm at 30 HP
I want
total.
you to know that I am going to check that as soon as we're done tonight.
I want you to know that regardless of what you find out,
Yeah.
I will assume I was correct.
I know you will.
That you changed it after. I want you to know that.
All right. So, you have the room to yourselves at the moment. What's everyone up to?
What dressing did you get on your salad?
I'm sorry.
What dressing did you get on your salad? Mine doesn't have any dressing.
It's a local vinaigrette.
Do you have? Did they bring it to the table? Mine's kind of.
There's a small wooden bowl in front of you that has a dressing in it.
There's the bowl with the spoon.
Cerberus pours an obscene amount of dressing onto his salad.
Okay.
Well, I will take a look at what Caldana's doing because I got questions.
Caldana's not looking great. She's trying to keep it together. She's like barely picking at her food.
So, Caldana, I think many of us have some questions.
Quite.
What
Just
you got
kinda-
there? Just kidding. I didn't say that.
Well, where is the body of Lustitia?
Lustitia was taken to a separate room, and Archpriestess Morena went and
Dog.
said that she would do all she could to take care of or to heal her.
Mm.
So she is currently resting in another room. She has not regained consciousness or given any indication of life in the last 4 hours.
So I suppose I will start with, who is that?
You know who that is.
The little tomatoes.
Do we know that she was a... Did we know who, like, it was Lustitia, or do we know it was a
So
Dread Demon?
you did hear Scala refer to her as Lustitia, dread demon of envy, lust, charity, and love. Although very mockingly, she said love.
So what Scala said was true, then?
Kind of half nods. Pushes her food around to plate a little bit.
Why did she help us?
And where... Has she been the one you've been talking to this whole time?
You all met her.
What?
Where?
After my vision of the Red Lady, she and I talked, and I made a deal. 8 hours in control to know how she sparked.
So that's...
the other night when
Yes,
you were
the friendlier me.
But when did she first come to you?
Just gonna reach down into her bag, take out the amulet, and put it on the table.
New Arcana.
that long ago.
What other deals did you make with her?
Drugs. Little extra room in my head for her knowledge of history.
Do you still have that knowledge?
Nope. It's gone.
So, to be clear, you do have any knowledge that she like gave you that you utilized. You just don't have the reservoir of it that you did when she was in your mind.
But I don't have the proficiency, right?
No, you don't have the proficiency in it anymore.
Okay. I mean, I have anything I would have specifically picked out of it, but all of her knowledge as it was is gone.
Oh.
So, you had a dread demon in your head the last several weeks?
Technically,
Technically? Could you expound upon that?
she just kind of picks up the amulet, starts like fiddling with it like basically a fidget toy. Uh, you and I have talked about my vision of the Red Lady, how in life she was a monster,
Mm-hmm.
and yet she became a goddess. Lustitia, though, she spent most of her life trying to help people. She built schools and hospitals in stone's throw. But because people hated her because she was a tiefling, she became a demon.
So you witnessed her ignition like you witnessed we witnessed our sponsors?
Right around it, yeah.
Interesting.
Was it
There's
similar?
she, for the brief moment before she was corrupted by their hate, was, well, a goddess.
You know, no one's really given a clear account about a dread demon's ignition. Mostly like what they do
That's
with the other.
because they die when it happens.
Tap the pull out our Inquisition badge. That's what's supposed to happen.
That being said, Lustitia's
A dread demon.
right. Her
A dread demon who saved all of your lives.
That's true.
Sure,
W-
maybe.
Why?
And
Because
based
there was
on
still
what?
good in her. The Red Lady, when I had given up control, she talked to me. And I, in my last life, was much like her.
you regained some more of your memories?
No, she told me, well, a memory. I was on top of a mountain. It was the moment she saw there was still enough good in me or that there was enough good in me to be worth making her champion. I drove my pick through the ice. There was a hole behind the ice. And instead of letting myself maybe live or risk dragging my apprentice down with me, I cut the rope, left her there alive, and felt my death.
And under Caldana's page.
Sound a little familiar?
Well, somewhat. I suppose the problem is that Lustitia's crimes that she committed after ignition are well documented. But what is she now? She didn't. That gem seemed to take her spark, I think.
There were two.
Mm-hmm. 2 parts, perhaps. The Lustitia-looking one was swallowed, so to speak. And the other one, the Onredo, placed in her, which...
Hmm.
What is that part?
Hmm.
Pretty sure the only person that actually knows just dropped the ocean on Scala.
Perhaps.
When
Or-
you mentioned that, Melody actually bursts into tears.
Melody, I don't know if she's sitting next to Melody, but if she is, she'll do an awkward shoulder pat.
Hold on, it just looks really awkward.
A lot has certainly changed.
If she hadn't done that, we wouldn't be here now.
About that moment when the door opens, 3 people are standing there. All 3 of which you have met. One of them is High Priest Aranor, the elderly priest of Penumbra who sent you to the Sunset Village. He is standing looking somewhat perturbed and, well, flustered. Next is Priestess Yuki, who is looking like she's trying to keep it together as best she can. And to the left of her is Captain Alspeth, who looks pissed off, I think would be the words. For her, she looks visibly angry. But all 3 of them enter the room. It is Yuki who speaks as she kneels down. Welcome back from the village. We've been talking with some people and with the Archpriestess to try to get a clear picture of what happened out there. She gives you all a look that is very hopeful. It is true, then.
Yes.
In short, we failed.
And my mother.
She sacrificed herself to save everyone here and who knows how far. And in doing so, hopefully, delayed a great evil, at least a bit.
I'm sorry, Yuki.
Yes.
He nods.
Her last words were to share how much she loves you.
They would be. When she ignited, I was with her at the time. And I said goodbye to her because I knew what happens when you ignite. And I was sad, but really proud. And then she didn't ascend. She stayed with me. She said she would stay as long as she could. and that every day that she did would make it more worth it. I know that my mother would not make such a sacrifice lightly. If she believes that your lives are worth it, then so do I. High Priest Aranor. But we have sealed off the temple so that word does not get in or out. Archpriestess Morena says that you encountered Scala.
This is true.
As best we can tell.
That is what the beast claims it was.
754 years since Scala was killed. It beggars belief.
Indeed, same with... That's how we felt as well. She spoke in a very old tiefling language.
Old tiefling language.
It would make sense.
Well, I mean, I could recognize it as tiefling, but some ways of speech seemed off.
Your Radiance, who else has heard what you just said?
No one.
It would be the request of the Inquisition that it remain that way.
Yes, I know. None were so effective as Scala at utilizing fear to create hatred and increasing their own strength. The more people who know she is back, the better for her.
Yes.
It is unlikely she will wait long to make her presence known anyway. We might as well take the time we have.
Yes. It's possible the Onraita's sacrifice might have, but considering she showed up again, I doubt it. We will have to face this.
Yes, I do. I don't believe that something as simple as a temple's collapse would be enough. Not given what it took last time.
She had a name. You keep saying Onrita, but she had a name.
He nods. Tsukiko Sunveil.
I forget, did the rest of us find out that Martine was
Yeah.
out
Yeah,
of function?
she
Okay.
told you all.
Yeah, we know that. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
We'll have to tell him when we get the chance.
Well, he is in stone's throw.
We
Well.
have to report to the Grand Inquisitor.
Then your journey will take you to Stone's Throw, indeed. Captain Alspeth. What? Oh, sorry. Yuki actually kind of glanced over. Forgive her. Someone broke into the temple this morning and broke into my room. She's been a little on edge ever since.
Into your room?
Yeah. Captain Alspeth is like, a vagrant. They'll be executed at dawn.
Who?
For any particular reason?
Yeah, they wanted to ask me questions.
Such as?
I was kind of freaked out at the time. I was asleep when they broke in. And then when I woke up, they were just asking me questions. They want to know, what was it like being the daughter of the Onrado? I don't know, a whole bunch of things.
What did she look like? Didn't have pink hair, did she?
Yeah. Pink hair and
Bronze tips.
a headband with cat ears on it.
Okay. Well,
Sort of look over. I assume at this point Brooks and Rialto are just sort of like, God damn it, sharing
Pretty
a
much.
look.
well, Captain Elspeth, if you, perhaps, we can discuss this later, but, perhaps maybe delay that.
She broke into the Temple of the Onrado.
I'm aware.
As a favor to us.
Yuki
we would
glances
like
up.
to interview the woman before
Yuki
the
glances up.
execution.
It's okay. I give permission. Captain Elspeth gives a look back at her. And it's a complicated look because technically Yuki has 0 authority in the Temple of the Onrado with Tsukiko dead. But she nods. All right. Very well. I will allow you to see her. When it is timely to do so.
Of course.
Priest Aranor, would it not make sense to give them what information we can on the Dread Demon if they are to, combat it?
Which one?
Scala. Our records of Lustitia are limited.
Aldana just gave Varys a murderous look.
The
Yes.
other one is kept securely.
Oh, she's being tended to in a room just down the hall there.
By
But Archpriestess Morena.
all right.
High Priest
But
Aranor
yes.
nods. Yes, well, then I'll follow me. I will take you downstairs to the, to the Hall of the Divine, and we will see what we have available for you all to know.
Very well.
The Captain Elspeth departs to go inform the guards not to murder Callie in the morning. Meanwhile, Yuki and High Priest Aranor take you downstairs. There is a hidden wall just to the south of you that they open, and it has a stairwell that leads down underneath Moon Bay. When you emerge, you are in a long, cavernous room. It is a massive, massive room. And all along the walls, it's like a hallway type room. So it's about 30 feet across, but hundreds of feet down.
Mhm.
And all along the walls are shrines to various gods and goddesses and to Onrado of years past. And you start to make your way down. And about halfway down on the left, there is a carved out section of the wall that has, you don't like the feelings that you get when you get near it. It makes you feel a little icky, I would say. But there, the captain, or the priest, picks up a book and begins to read through it. All right. This book represents the sum knowledge of what we know of dread demons, given the circumstances. Usually the Inquisition keeps it very tightly under wraps, but, we are not the foremost repository of information in this world for nothing. We do have some
We're
information.
also with the Inquisition.
Indeed. I had taken that into consideration. Scala, the dread demon of hatred, as she is best known, although many also would call her occasionally the dread demon of murder.
Fair enough.
She's also known as the Hell Plague, Despair Incarnate, the Queen of Darkness. Her actual age of birth is not known, but it is known when she ignited, what we would now call 100 before the fall. What can I tell you about her? What would be helpful?
How was she defeated last time?
Lucky.
The
Yes,
stories
but-
do range quite widely, although they all come down to one simple fact. It was far above Syrine's surface, where Laki and Scala did their final battle. The two of them faced off against one another, and when each strike was said to shake the entire world, and yet when the final blow was struck, don't do it. It was Scala who plummeted down back towards Cyrene, creating a crater so massive, destroying the city of River's Meat in the process, that it is now called the Sundered Blue.
Well, short of finding someone else with a spark, that will be rather difficult to do.
Before that fight, are there any records where Scala, while not defeated, was ever bested in mortal combat?
There are a couple of instances of successes reported against against Scala.
She's not
Freudian
a dread
slip.
demon yet.
Freudian slip. We're getting there though. There are a couple instances of moments where Scala was defeated in battle. Most famously at the Battle of the Five Navies, some 8 years after her ignition. She assembled the largest army that Terrasen the largest navy that Terrasen had ever seen, and sailed it north in the plans to take out the dwarven continent of Unduar, begin the invasion there. She believed at the time that the other continents, the other peoples of this world who were unwilling to help on Terrasen, would allow her to simply invade one at a time. She was mistaken. When she arrived at the dwarven capital on Unduar, her fleet was besieged by the navies of the dwarves, the Uruk, the Dragonborn, and the elves, and her navy was obliterated. It is one of the most lopsided battles of the war, and, well, one of the few that we emerged victorious in until the final one.
But was that her or just her forces?
It is not believed that she took part in the battle herself. The only record I have in here of her having been defeated in one-on-one combat was 60 years before her eventual destruction. She faced a Uruk who claimed to wield... oh my god, what's the name of it? An Uruk who claimed to wield Insidiae, the fabled sword of the Uruk.
Eyebrows climbing.
In that battle, the Uruk is said to have been a better warrior and to have bested Scala in all ways. But they could not kill her because Uruk, especially at that time, tended to fight with anger and hatred, and it made her powerful. Every blow struck against her, immediately making her stronger. And such was many of the difficulties in combating Scala. For if you fight her in anger, she feeds on it.
So we need to find somebody who would enjoy killing her. I'm just kidding. I don't say that.
Someone who would peacefully negotiate her to kill herself.
Or a psychopath that just
I
enjoys
see.
killing.
Oh, we're going old school on this one. Talk
Yeah.
the villain to death.
We're gonna Commander Shepard this shit. Renegade, 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 renegade.
Do we? No. I mean, at this point, the problem, I suppose, is that Scala may not be at her full strength yet, but I don't know how much of it is a matter of time before she is.
It's interesting that you say that. There are some notes in here from after her defeat. Her body was never found until, well, apparently hundreds of years later. However, some pieces of her were eventually located. The Temple of the Onredo, our scholars here for many years attempted to explain what had happened to her power. Power does not simply vanish into nothingness. It must go somewhere or be kept in some way, and it was unable to be found for a long time. It was actually Onredo Korra who recorded the last known locations of these remains. 3 items that survived. A gem, a diadem, and her sword, Sanguine Moon, were all recovered from the edge of the Sundered Blue.
Is the gem described?
Large blue gem. It's, as you have pieced together, it was entrusted to Moonbay for safekeeping.
I unpieced it apart.
Yes, it is now shattered.
It is interesting because while it was a piece of her, it was inert. Did not do anything. It was just a gem. It was entrusted to Moonbay for safekeeping, just in case, and about 200, 300 years ago, when the Temple of Penumbra was established, we sent it there. It was one of the more secure places in the region and also very remote, so we sent it there to be kept. So,
Fortunately, that same temple happened to hold Scala's bones.
So is that how it was activated? It seems like that man knew how to use it.
perhaps it wasn't reactivated until she lived again. Perhaps the items are just inert if she doesn't exist.
How many
I
knew
don't-
about the gem? It was common knowledge that the massive gemstone existed in that temple?
It was common knowledge that a gem like that was there. I mean, not common knowledge, but if you were, if you studied such things, you might know that it was there. But what it was not common knowledge.
The question there is, did Jesse Silver know what it was?
Indeed.
Well, if that is destroyed, then that may be well, if that was a portion of her power. What did it allow this man to do, you said?
Contain a spark, as far as I can understand.
So the demon said.
Is that all?
I'll describe what we saw.
That is-
Yeah.
Powerful magic.
Agreed.
Yes. I do not know who this hell priest was or how long he had lived, but he had a strong mastery of the arcane, and he seemed to be wielding the gem as some sort of focus,
Indeed.
though his apparent master was not impressed, given that she quickly disposed of him.
There
It quickly disposed of him.
are portrayals, not legally ownable, of course. There are portrayals of Scala that show her wielding Sanguine Moon in one hand and a gem in her other.
So she's a gish.
I'm sorry?
She's a gish.
A what now?
No, she's a dread demon.
Oh, right. Sorry. Got it.
Keep up.
My
Or-
mistake.
For now, the working theory must be that that was in fact the same gem, and that it was a positive thing that Varys broke it.
I
And
would tend to agree.
perhaps the next question is, where does Sanguine Moon and the diadem of
Yes.
Dookie Butt survive?
Indeed. Perhaps if
He
we...
looks towards Priestess Yuki. Yuki looks up and has a look of, no, I don't have any authority. I'm a priestess of Laki. He shakes his head. Your mother gave her life for them. I think you would have the right to say whether this is a secret that I can share.
Oh my god. Hold on.
Thanks for a moment. Yes, I think they need to know. Very well. The gem was entrusted to Moonbay. The sword was sent to Raktala. And the diadem was sent to Savior's Cradle.
Savior's Cradle.
Yes, it is a city far to the north.
Rocktala's closer.
Right, yes. Rocktala's
Yes.
Do you know
closer.
where in Rocktala? Was it sent to a temple?
I could not say. It was entrusted to the matriarchs there. That
The
would be.
matriarchs.
Yes, Uruk are run by a council of matriarchs.
The Uruk, I understand.
I
I see.
also
Yes.
happen to know that Saber's Cradle was recently being investigated for some other concerns,
Hmm.
Ugh.
Presumably related.
potentially. It's where my brother is right now.
I have an odd question, Your Holiness.
Of course.
Was Scala ever known to have any aversion to water?
Well, indeed. As I said, her naval defeat was the greatest she ever experienced. It is said that she never built a navy again after that. And she was indeed defeated now where the Sundered Blue is today. So,
And
From
we
a-
just dropped an ocean on her to still her again.
it
It
is.
could be nothing, but given the wisdom of the Onredo, sometimes, well, it's hard to know if such things are circumstance or... I was curious if anyone had ever investigated if there was any tie-in.
Well, I could not say. Of course, it's been many hundreds of years since her passing. I would believe that the scholars of the day, what few there may have been, would have certainly looked to try anything to find a weakness in the Dread Demon.
Scala failed to take Moon Bay for a very long time.
Yes, I believe
What-
32 years, if memory serves. My history lessons are correct.
What is the general consensus as to why?
Why she
What's-
struggled to take it for so long?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, it is generally believed and understood that at the time, the God's Grass Forest extended far further north, and she was not able to actually get through it to reach Moon Bay. In that era, Moon Bay and Stone's Throw were not linked by road as they are today. They were separate. In fact, many in the rest of Terrasen did not know Moon Bay existed. It was a secret colony of elves at the time.
Kelly, are you able to put the map up for us
I
again?
can absolutely move you over to the map. Right here, and I need to actually drag you all onto it. So, as we look at the map here, we can see that indeed Moon Bay is here. This road did not exist in that era. The Gosgrass Forest extended all the way up to the northern shores.
And what else was in that deserted region? Do we have any older maps that show what was there before Scala changed it?
Yes, we might have some... Oh, yeah, sorry. Let's show the map for the Twitch audience. We might have some older maps. I gotta see if it's actually in this game or if it's only in my other game. One sec. I will put it in this one, though, for you all to see, though. Create a page. We need one for Scholarain era. All right, upload. Sorry for the delay real quick while I get this up. Flickers of Divinity assets, Terrasen, Scholarain era. Is this the final version? No, that is not the final version. Where is it? No. Oh, God, where is it?
I feel like you gave me.
I must have. Apologies, everyone, for the delay. Grab it again. Incarnate. Show me Scholarain. Where are you, Scholarain? There you are.
High level of polish and professionalism.
I didn't realize I was going to get asked for the map of my other game. I'm sorry.
I didn't know. I mean, it does. Even if you can just tell me what was there, I don't
I was
necessarily
gonna
see the
say-
map.
I was gonna say, would you have had this map without having the other game?
Yeah, you wouldn't. I get that.
All right, here we go. File save.
Yeah, just giving a verbal answer is fine.
Well, I mean, if I have the map, I'm of course going to show it.
Alright. Just trying to make it easy for you.
Nothing's ever easy.
Nothing is ever easy. Export as image.
Oh,
God, I don't need to be that
That's so
big.
true.
That's fucking... Okay, I guess it's just going to be fucking huge. Very well, then. Save and export. No, wait. I wonder if it's already just here because... Nope, all the games do keep separate images. Sad pandas. Rude.
Feedback. Roll 20. Have a
Yep.
folder.
You
Have
don't
a
have it
GM
for
folder.
Incarnate?
All right. Upload.
It's more of roll 20.
Terrace and Scholar Rain. Go right there. Human. Upload. Thank you. Background. All right, and this is what you are all shown.
I think we have to.
Yeah, I gotta move you over. You are all shown. So he gets out a large, goes over to one of the tables and lays out a large leather map from a different era. This reflects Terracin about 20 years before the defeat of Scala. It is our oldest map that we have here. I unfortunately don't have one that is any older than it. But this is what the continent looked like in that era. As you can see where we know Scala's Wrath to be today, in the upper left corner of the map, it was still, the entire area was still the Dawn Coast. You can see, of course, where the God's Grass Forest once was. Mortis Silvana and Ulskala, her capital, stand. It is believed that when she finally was able to make inroads through the God's Grass Forest, she burned and salted the earth beneath her, and then created her capital on top of it.
And now that's a desert.
And today, indeed, nothing grows there. It is a desert to this day. We call it the Viper's Eye Desert.
Even the
I
ruins
got
of
the
Mitra
name.
Sylvana don't last anymore.
If they are, they're buried beneath sand.
What were you thinking, Sir Varus?
I wanted to know if there was a large natural river that flowed through that area.
In that time, no. There would have been, the only river would have been the Northern Divide, which ran north out of Riversmeet, but not through her capital.
It's all desert now.
She created, it is said on the ground where she settled, the very rocks crumbled and shattered.
Such is the corruption of a dread demon, they ruin everything they touch.
Historically
Regardless
speaking.
of intent.
So,
Actually, that's a good question. Would I know of anything of like the ruins of Mortis Silvana?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I will allow you to make a history check on that.
14 plus 17 total.
All right. I will tell you what you know, and I will grant you one question. Mortis Silvana is a legend among the Uruk of Raktala. It is said there's a spot in the southwest reaches of the Viper's Eye Desert where ghosts are frequently seen. Spirits not just of malevolent nature, but also of those who died there hundreds of years ago, still trapped. It is said that beneath the sands in this area, there is a tower, crumbled, destroyed, of course, mostly made of metal. It is believed that it was destroyed even before the death of Scala. But lots of rumors do persist about this place, not the least notable of which is that despite it being clearly of Scala's make and design, that much of the substructure of it is elven in nature.
Am I able to share? Oh, you have a question. Never mind.
Yep, you have a question still.
Did you have one?
No,
was that
I
one?
have. I
Oh,
want to
okay.
know if I can share what I know about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, if anybody else has a specific question, I will open that up.
No, it's fine.
I would say, actually, Brooks, you have to ask the question because you
Okay.
and Cerberus are the only
I
people in this
would-
party who could know what this place
Who
is.
have reasonable.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's all spoken of that legend is. Is it like just generally avoided then?
Is the area generally avoided?
Yeah.
The area is actually one of the few that is. So Raktala is a moving city. It's a nomadic city.
Yeah.
The area around the ruins of Mortis Sylvana is one of the few that you never settle in. You don't even pass through it.
Okay.
And Cerberus, feel free to share what you know.
I know what my people say, and I trust it inherently. Mitra Sylvana was a stronghold of elven forces, not the least of which included my order, essentially on the front lines of the ancient god's grasp. It stood as both a guardian and a watchtower against the north. But it was betrayed by a knight whose name has been stricken from our history. We know only what his sigil was. There are a number of interesting stories about what failure of spirit and character would cause someone to ally themselves with a dread demon, but regardless, the end result was copious amounts of slaughter and a breaking of my order and many elven and Uric lives that never fully recovered. The dead, in some cases, were said to join Scala's army. And the forest itself seemed to falter with the fall and renaming of Mitra Sylvana to Mortis Sylvana. Many of the most senior members of my order died, including over half the circle.
Given what I know and what you know and how well they fit together, I'm inclined to believe your people are speaking true.
There could be no doubt.
Is there something we can find there?
I don't know. The Order's never made it back there since it shrank. I mean, there have been expeditions of many a night across the entire continent. Whether or not they return is a different matter. The Knight Skald had stories, if he was still alive and would know them, but he's not. And regardless of what I was supposed to inherit from him, I didn't. So the only way to know would be to go there. It is a place of ghosts. It was, however, a principal fortress of Scala's for some time. Whatever ruins lie there, there could be information. I would suspect it would be very dangerous to acquire, and that's assuming we could even get beneath the sand to find it.
The ruins are said to be haunted.
And
I wouldn't be surprised if there were foul beasts strong as well.
the Badger themselves could be there for all I know. They were said to be eternally damned.
Did you say the badger?
Oh, the sigil of the
So-
Nameless Knight.
Oh,
Sigil is a badger, you say?
A black badger. That's all we know.
that's important context for that sentence.
Oh, everyone in the order has a title. We just don't use them outside the order. Even I am not technically Cerberus of the Green Shield.
Oh.
Yuki raised her hand. I want to know.
Hmm?
I
What?
want to know.
What's your...
What's your title? She then
Oh.
seems to like get a hold of herself. Put back on the professional face.
Our
If you're
titles are
willing to
taken by
share.
the spirits we bond with. Mine is named after a floral spirit that I gained affinity to. It is said to my master, for instance, was the owl. His spirit was the wise old owl. Mine is I am Cerberus, the Knight of Hemlock.
Oh, that's so cool.
Hmm.
High Priest Arano just looks at Yuki like,
Yes, it has many medicinal properties, though primarily it has been used in the execution of prisoners historically. But you know, some things are just symbolic.
Of course.
well, either way,
Sometimes a flower's just a flower.
Exactly.
any way you look at it, I do believe your next destination takes you to Stone's Throw.
And for there,
be the
perhaps
case.
north to Raktala and maybe even to Savior's Cradle.
It would be, if you are to go to Raktala, the easiest way would be to go to Stone's Throw first. Raktala moves, and you will need to get a accurate location of where it currently is and for how long it will be there. That you can acquire in Stone's Throw. Otherwise, you'll be wandering the desert looking for it.
Yes.
And there is indeed someone else that was supposed to be going to Raktala.
Oh?
Indeed, the person you apprehended earlier.
The Vagabond. Right.
Oh, she's technically a writer.
A writer.
I have her books!
Right.
Oh,
she,
that Callie Page?
Yes.
Yes.
The one and only.
You know, that's
Hopefully.
not quite how I pictured her.
Oh.
Neither did we, but considering how we found her, I knew immediately who you were referring to.
Your disappointment is shared.
She has a way.
Yes, an obnoxious one, as it turns out.
My mother did say you had to be a little insane to do the kind of good work someone like her does, but she may have been trying to describe me, so I'm not so sure.
I see. Well, anyway, and he stops all of a sudden and blinks as he looks out past you.
Oh no.
Down the rows of these various shrines, each of them, they're all different, but most of them have some similarities. They are some form of large stone pedestal, usually rectangular in shape or slanted upwards as it comes to a thinner top than and a wider bottom. And most of them have a urn in front of them, or what's the word I'm looking
Cistern?
for? Something that you
A vase?
you would burn a fire in.
Pyre.
Oh, a brazier.
A brazier, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. And both of them have a large hollow brazier in front of them.
Or a brassiere, if it is a particularly young and very feminist urn.
I see. It is not. These are all quite old.
Okay.
However, what's notable is
First
that
wave
five
braziers.
of them are currently burning, and they were
Okay.
not when you came in.
Oh.
Well, that's a neat trick.
He blinks. Yes.
Do we happen to
Those-
notice which 5 they are?
You could absolutely go look.
It seems suspicious. I will
How
immediately go.
How
look.
many of us are there?
5.
All 5 of you.
Oh,
well,
okay.
there's 5 of you plus Yuki and the High Priest.
I don't
Yeah.
care about them, Callie. You know I wasn't asking about them.
I know.
I will
just-
immediately go look at what it's burning in front of.
Yeah.
The first
Uh,
one you approach.
Am I within 30 feet of it?
You are, yes.
I'd like to
Yes,
use my divine sense.
I say you do not sense anything.
Okay, great. It is
But-
not a demon.
It is not.
That's good.
As you
Or an
approach,
undead.
Yes.
this first one is unmistakably a shrine to Selena, the goddess of the moon and stars. The shrine itself has a large moon carved into it and symbols of stars carved all around it. And the fire that glows up out of it is black, but with little white sparks all the way through it. And Rialta, as you
Creepy as hell.
approach, the top of the shrine begins to part and open, and set within it is, well, it looks like a sickle to you. It is a wooden handle, no more than, 1.5 feet long. And the bladed part at the top of it is a golden crescent, looking like a partial moon that comes out. And the sides of it are inlaid with gems.
It's very pretty.
Hmm?
I reach out for it.
It seems to give off a slight glow as you touch it.
I look at the priest.
The priest is having a moment of shock, I would say, awe, and he looks to Priestess Yuki, who is also looking very surprised at what she sees, but she nods. Clearly it is for you.
She will grab it. Kind of examine it.
Rialta,
Yeah.
you have a +1 moonsicle.
I'm so excited!
Is that like a popsicle?
something gremlin noises.
Something. I have all the heals now, and you guys gotta be nice to me.
Is that a power in it? We have to be nice to you?
Otherwise, you don't get heals.
Oh.
It's a social power up.
Oh, I see. I got it.
So, which one do you all approach next?
I'll look at all.
I'll give you a big shock. Which goddess is the other?
I was just
belong
gonna look
to.
at you. It seems we each get one.
Yeah,
Just
One of
very
us, one of us
presumably-
get two.
presumably we're just walking down the
Yeah.
line.
All right. So as
Yeah.
you head down to the next one,
We're not gonna go like, you gotta wait.
Melody is actually not going to approach any of the shrines.
Hmm.
She's just going to look on because, like, admittedly, still a little shell shocked.
No, that's reasonable. All right.
I'm gonna like nudge Melody forward a little bit.
As
Oops, sorry guys.
the group of you is walking along, then not all of you necessarily. Brux,
Aye.
you approach a shrine that belongs to Talia, and it actually reminds you of the shrines in the Holy Way that you saw the other night. Talia's again is very simple, whereas some of them are very ostentatious and large, and they're meant to be impressive. Talia's, as always, is as simple as can be. It is about 4 feet high and maybe 2 feet across. Very simple, very small. And it is just plain marble. There does not seem to be anything special about it. There is no sigils, no writing in it of any kind, save for one symbol of a spider on the front. And again, and indeed, as you approach, the whole front panel of it just suddenly detaches and slides down.
Okay.
And inside, there is a battle axe.
Ooh.
It is, the handle of it is made of what looks to be a dark cherry wood, and the actual axe has a spider inlaid across it with its legs running out the length of the two-sided axe.
Oh, neat.
Dope.
It's a mommy long legs.
Brux, you have been gifted. You have been gifted Destiny.
Oh, shit.
Destiny is a +1 battle axe that adds 1 also to your spell attack rolls, spell damage, and spell save DC.
Dope.
Damn.
Also, it has the effect when you cast a cantrip, you may spend your reaction to cast it again.
Oh.
Wow.
Huh? What? Oh.
That's ridiculous.
You're gonna be just farting out firebolts.
Before I grab it, I will look down, presumably, if the spider is visible, and smile at it.
Spider is busily just unthreading the tattoos down near your right hand right now.
Just give it a nice little smile, and grab it. If feel however diegetically I would notice that it does that.
Yep.
And
As
turn to everybody. It appears we are being provided for.
the high priest nods, kind of in shock. Yes. Well, those were supposed to be secret. One of our many tasks here, in addition to keeping a recorded history of the world, is, well, we maintain some of the personal possessions of those who ignite. That axe belonged to, well, it is said to have belonged to the person who ignited to become Talia.
Talia wield a sick battle axe.
Talia did
The
with
little
battle axe.
spider
Wasn't-
lady.
I'm going to hold it up, and presumably it is 6.5 foot tall Uruk sized.
It is definitely made for someone a little bit smaller than you.
Okay.
It was definitely not made for a 6 foot tall Uruk. You might guess it was made for a 4.5 foot tall 12-year-old dwarven girl.
All right.
Very specific assumption, but
Yeah, indeed.
somehow it makes sense.
Rialta, actually, that doesn't surprise you a whole lot. Battle axe is a fairly common weapon up on the mountain.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, that it wasn't dwarf wearing battle axe wasn't
Yeah.
the thing. I just wanted to, call out all the armors changing size and everything.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, it does not. It is definitely the size of for a young girl.
Well, my cod piece better auto adjust because I'm not.
Cerberus. The next
damn it.
shrine that we approach.
Whoops.
The next shrine we approach belongs to flora and fauna. And indeed, there are 2 shrines, both of them linked by a tree that is growing out, and the branches of which have entwined around these two wooden shrines. As you approach, both of the tops of them disappear. And raising up out of them is a sword and a shield. On the left is Claw, a +1 sword of sharpness. It is the weapon itself looks very rudimentary, actually. The hilt of it is made from wood, and it looks to be tied, secured with vines to the blade of which. But the blade looks maybe like a dragon claw or a claw of some type, but it looks real effing sharp for something that has probably not been oiled properly in many hundreds of years.
Incredible.
So yes, that is Claw, your +1 sword of sharpness. And the shield is named Wisp. It is a simple buckler shield that looks like it is made from gossamer and spider's web. However, as you touch it, it does not feel like gossamer and spider's web. It is solid as steel. Wisp is a +1 shield that has the added effect of making whatever armor you wear act as though it were mithril armor.
Damn. Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
That is Claw and Wisp.
Incredible. Severus turns around. I got 2. I told you someone would get 2. It was me.
You
Continue
did.
on down. Caldana.
Oh boy.
Standing before you is a
You get a lump of coal for being a
is
liar on the
shrine-
naughty list.
is a shrine to the Red Lady. The shrine itself is a bit more ostentatious than the others, you would say. It is a pure white marble stone shrine with 2 red feathered wings coming out the back of it. And as you approach, the wings fold forward, and then when they open again, there is a sword standing there. The great sword has a black leather-wrapped hilt, and the blade of it looks like a phoenix feather. The metal is patterned to look like a feather, but it looks extremely sharp. The weapon itself looks like a giant feather. Caldana, this functions as Flame Tongue.
Damn.
Did I know what that is?
The flame tongue greatsword.
It is a Flame Tongue greatsword. There you go.
That's
That
crazy.
sounds cool, but
You can
Yeah, it does
you utter
fire
a
damage on every hit.
you utter a command
Oh.
word and it gets 2d6 fire damage on hit.
I
And
don't
it
does it have a
also
flat bonus too?
I mean, it's also a +1 greatsword.
Yeah, that's right.
and it functions as a torch.
Yeah,
And it functions as a torch. That's true.
It's true. My sword glows too, which I did not know about a sword of sharpness, but it also can glow if you tell it to. It seems like just an extra thing. They were like, it's really sharp. It does all these awesome things. Also, it glows.
Fuck
Mine
it, put a
doesn't say it
flashlight in
glows,
there.
but I feel like it should glow.
It'll
That
say
depends. Is Melody's going to glow?
melodies. We'll never know melodies.
Because at that
Melodies are
point,
shock.
you may as well.
Melody. You are still standing a ways off from your shrine as the party kind of nudges you along to move closer, but not up to it. The shrine of the matriarch is, well, in disarray. Much of it has crumbled over the years. It looks like it has not been taken care of, and yet that doesn't make sense. All of the others are in immaculate condition. Perhaps someone purposefully damaged this shrine at some point in anger. And sitting on top of the remains of the shrine is the matriarch. And she is looking at you. She sits on top of the shrine wearing a long, simple blue dress that goes quite nicely with her red flesh. She sits with her legs crossed, and in her hands, she is holding a lute. The lute itself is made of a beautiful, deep wood. It is a very dark, shaded wood. And running up the length of the handle is a dragon that is coiled around it, and the head of this lute has the dragon's mouth open and breathing fire out. And she is gently
Sick.
playing. And you've never heard her play the lute before, but she's quite good at it. And as she sits there looking at you, she just sings for you. A soothing song like a lullaby. Her voice is beautiful.
When she sees this, she's just standing there. And she doesn't realize she's crying until, like, she notices that, the shrine is, like, not well kept. And as she kind of moves forward, it isn't to take the loot. Instead, she's going to start just doing what she can to fix it.
Matriarch watches
And-
you, seeming appreciative
and-
as you do.
And she's going to sing the main melody of the song that the matriarch is playing, because
Mhm.
she doesn't know if anyone else can hear it.
Mm-hmm. None of you are able to see or hear what is happening, though something seems to have affected Melody here. The matriarch looks down at you. She smiles. I loved singing in life. I loved playing the lute and trying to bring comfort to those in my care. I did not have much in the way of money, and affording a decent lute was, well, out of the question, I'm afraid. And one day, I was in Stone's Throw, and 2 ivory dragonborn came into the city. I got to watch them perform and sing their beautiful song. I was enraptured by it. I must have stayed and watched them perform for hours. And if they had kept going, I would have stayed for days. The most beautiful music I had ever heard. And when it was over, I begged them to teach me to sing like they did, to play like they did, that I might be able to play for my children, those in my care. They could not. They had places that they had to go, places that they had to travel. But they appreciated my words, my genuine enthusiasm, my desire to spread music as they did. And one of them gave me this lute. I have cherished it my entire life. I have cherished it as a deity. But now it is time for this lute to go home, back to its people. Its name is Dragon Song, and it is yours, Melody.
Melody is going to look up at her and just kind of like sit there. Before like another wave of tears just overcome her.
The matriarch stops playing for a moment and pulls you into a hug.
She very much like, kind of like how a child would,
Mm-hmm.
like just like wrap her arms around her and just like hold on.
Mm-hmm. Matriarch holds you for just a long moment before she tilts your chin up to make you look at her. Know you this, that you care so much is proof beyond all else that I chose right. Be strong, Melody. You will have the chance to make this world a better place. And if I didn't believe that, I would not give you this.
I just wanted to help.
I know. I know.
But people keep dying. I can't see it.
There was a time in this world where most believed there would be no tomorrow. Where People died constantly. Divine or otherwise, there was no future for them. But the courage of a few gave everyone a tomorrow. I believe that will happen again. Onredo Suki gave her life. And I know that she feels good about the choice. Take it, Melody. It is yours.
And with like very trembling hands and fingers, she's going to accept it.
It is the nicest lute you have ever laid your hands on, the nicest instrument you have ever laid your hands on. This is a incredibly well-crafted instrument of the ivory. And not only does it function as a +1 bow for you, it also increases the die of whatever your bardic inspiration currently is.
My
So
one.
if you are a D6, you are now a D8.
Oh fuck!
What are you a D6 currently, right?
I think so.
Then your bardic inspiration is now a D8. If you're a D4, you're a D6.
And so on.
When you get to if you get to D12, I don't know if you do, but if you get to D12, it would become a D12 plus a 1D4.
Aww.
You don't want to give
No.
me a D20?
No.
Come on, everything else you handed out is stupid broken.
So is this.
Could be more broken.
So, yes, you have been granted the Moonsicle, Destiny, Claw and Wisp, Phoenix Feather, and Dragon Song.
The first song that gets played on it is one that she would usually just like let the feeling take her, but this one has like a conscious purpose, and she takes in a deep breath and sings a song dedicated to Onredo Tsukiko,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of like basically just like regaling an epic tale of a woman who burned so bright, a star in the darkest night, that kind of thing. And one that would like also detail the love of a mother to her children.
Mm-hmm.
And when she finishes, she's just going to hold the lute to her, and just kind of like with some difficulty try and make herself as small as possible.
The matriarch listens to your song. She seems to enjoy it. Gives a couple of soft claps before she fades away. High Priest Aranor also seemed to enjoy it very much. He seems to be making a mental note of it, wondering if maybe that's something that could get inscribed or etched here as at wherever Onredo Tsuki's memorial ends up being down here. Yuki had to turn away, and she is crying a little bit and trying to hide it because it's very untoward to cry in front of guests of the temple. About that time, our Archpriestess Morena arrives downstairs. I'm sorry to interrupt. She's awake.
Huh?
Aldana is all but
Other.
sprinting towards the door.
Oh, jeez. Yes. Our guest is awake.
The demon.
Let's.
Or what
I
else is-
typically don't call people who saved my life a demon, but yes, I suppose
At
so.
least someone.
I'm much more slowly, but also heading.
Yeah, same.
Yep.
I have my book out.
So everyone makes their way up to the room that's been provided. It is a very simple room, definitely used for when someone needs to be healed, or maybe just as a small guest room of something of that nature. Laying in the bed, very weakly, barely moving. Lustitia is there, and her eyes are open. She's looking around.
How far away am I?
You are, if you're at the door, you're 30 feet away.
I would like to use divine sense.
Oh, interesting.
Fiend, celestial, fey, undead.
I would say, once again, I have to look up goddamn divine sense.
I just. I
He
mean, I can
just
listen.
said.
I just said
No,
it.
I know. I just need to see something in the wording.
It tells me the creature type, Callie. Don't you dare hide. Bring up her stat block. What's her subtype of her stat block? You give that to me. If it's not humanoid, you give it to me.
Any presence. Okay. I would say then you do indeed sense a fiend within 30 feet of you.
I know.
I
Where
needed
it
to
is.
know if it has to have a body or if it.
I know where it is.
Yeah, it's laying on the bed.
It is laying on the bed.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not want to have to kill her in front of everybody. Like, that's crazy, dog. Oh my god, I can't believe.
You can try.
Sir
I
Varys.
appreciate that your mic keeps cutting off when you do that.
Yeah, it's probably got that like the
The
when it peaks, it
auto.
just cuts.
Yeah.
Sir Varys is just standing at the door. He does not look happy.
Yeah, that's fair. Caldana, as you get there, she glances over at you. She seems to wince a little bit. I told you it was stupid to go.
Caldana at this point, choking back sobs. No, you were right.
No,
Shouldn't have.
I wasn't right. If I was right, I would have let the lot of you die.
We appreciate that you didn't.
You and I would have been fine.
Why did you help us?
She rolls her eyes.
I think it's a fair question.
I suppose it is. The night I took possession of her body, my intention was not good. I wanted a little bit of revenge, maybe against the descendants of those who had wronged me. And yet, the moment I came into possession of it, the moment I could taste and touch and see and feel and hear, well, didn't seem important anymore. So instead, I availed myself of you all that night. I got to meet you, to have conversation, taste food and drink. You were kind. It did not seem right to watch you die. Archpriestess Morena has now also joined and returned. She looks and frowns at Lustitia. I am sorry, though, to say that I can do precious little for you. She nods. I know. Your form, it's not a body. You don't bleed or breathe. You don't have a pulse. What you are is will. You have willed yourself into existence for a time.
A corporeal spirit?
Effectively. Think of her as a phantom.
Hmm.
She has willed herself into existence, but in doing so, she has brought herself back to the rules of a dread demon, or a goddess or god for that matter. She functions on faith, and there is not enough of it to keep her alive. Lustitia nods. I knew the choice that I was making.
At that, Melody, without further prompting or words, just walks over and takes Lustitia's hands into her own and just kneels down.
Cerberus is also not happy.
Just,
She kind of
to
blinks in
put,
surprise.
just to meet her eye level.
Brooks is staying back and giving everyone room.
Yes, Miss Melody.
I don't know you. But you saved us. You didn't have to, but you did. You may not know it, but... Well... It was... an act of goodness. Not unlike what... Lady Tsukiko did for us.
The Onredo. She was able to see me when she looked at Caldana. She was a good woman, as far as I can tell. A voice calls out from behind all of you, and you all hear it. Stand aside.
Who is it?
You turn. None of you, except Caldana, recognize who you see. Caldana, you see the Red Lady standing there.
What?
She has fiery red hair and has her golden armor on at the moment. A sword on her hip as she approaches.
What are you going to do? Caldana, tears streaming down her face.
She looks at each of you as she passes by. Severus, your divine sense is going off again.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. You sense,
Which one?
you sense a celestial in the room now.
Is it celestial?
Yeah,
All right,
for
that
sure.
one doesn't bother me.
Okay, just checking.
That one's fine.
She looks at
And
you, Caldana,
Has Page's books out.
and then looks to Lustitia. It is my charge to take those who pass to Boss, that he may guide them to sail and they be reborn again. Such is the circle of life that takes all living things. It is in the nature of this world that dread demons do not get to go through this process. And that is how evil is rooted out of this world. You know the fate that awaits you. Do you not? Lustitia looks up and nods. I do.
Aldana's gonna step in front of the red lady. Cutting a rope was enough for me. And saving us should be enough for her.
Looks at you for a long moment. Before looking back to
I saw
Lustitia.
good in her.
There is nothing left for you to gain and nothing left for you to lose. You know your fate. So I ask you this, Lustitia, dread demon of lust, envy, charity, and love. Will you not leave with a clear conscience? Will you not go to the void admitting what you have done? Will you not confess your crimes? Lustitia stiffens a little bit at that and blinks. And she looks over at you, Caldana. Should I?
Sorry, my brain just crashed.
Cerberus is clenching
Aldana-
clenching his fists.
Mm-hmm.
Caldana's still looking at the red lady. I want her to phrase this. You and I are both on a second life to do better than we did.
Yes. And when both of us were met with a situation where we had nothing left to lose or to gain, we chose to do the right thing. I wonder if she will do the same.
Maybe the right thing is staying here and helping.
The right thing would be to confess what she has done, to own it.
And then to try to do better.
Perhaps. Lustitia, she sighs and looks down. Very well. I liked to tell people, myself more than any, that I did the things that I did to help my brothers and sisters of Hell's Hold. And while there is truth in that, it is not the whole truth. I also did it for me. I liked it, and I was good at it. And after I stopped being Soraya, after I became Lustitia, I was very angry at the world. I did not just take my brothers and sisters to New Alcana in hopes of us finding a new home. I wanted them to become powerful. I wanted them all to become powerful, because that would make me powerful. So strong that we could march back to Stone's Throw and take back our home. And just like when I was Soraya, I was willing to venture further and further into the morally gray to see my ambitions realized. Until one day, I awakened to find I had become powerful indeed. But my brothers and sisters were gone. replaced by the monsters they'd become, replaced by the things they made themselves into to make me stronger. A single tear slides down her cheek. She looks at you, Caldana. I lied to you. The Inquisition didn't hunt us down. I saw what they had become, what I had made them. And I knew it was my responsibility to lay them to rest, to let them go to Boss, because they still could. I killed all of them. And I was going to take my own life, but that would have been too good. Too good for me. So I devised a greater hell for myself. I sealed my mind and soul away in an amulet and hoped to never be found again. That is who I am. The Red Lady looks down at her. The truth is painful. I know what it is to have it brought before you. I am sorry, Lustitia. No sooner have those words left her mouth than does Lustitia begin to fade, her body falling limp once again as her eyes grow heavy and she lays back. Well, that's it for me. Aldana. And before she can get another word out, she dies. The Red Lady looks to you. It is my charge that I never bring a dread demon to Boss. I may never show them a way into another life. It is this world's one and only safeguard against evil flourishing, that those who fall so far are cut from the circle of rebirth. Kara, question for you. What would you give to give Lustitia a shot?
I'd like to still have a character.
Fair enough. I'll take that as a yes. I told you all, when we first started this game in Session 0, that each of you would have the ability to one time in this game utilize your tattoo in a way that you never thought possible. Red Lady looks at you and looks to where her body once was. It has faded and disappeared now. That is my charge. However, just as each of the goddesses did for their champions, and she looks around the room, I gifted a part of myself to you, Caldana. And as a mortal, you may choose to use that gift however you wish. You are not bound as I am. Caldana, through the use of your tattoo, at some point in this game, if you would choose to use it, you have a single cast of True Resurrection as the champion of the Phoenix and the Lady of Rebirth.
Yeah, she's gonna use it.
I can't force you.
Yeah, no, it's like,
Yeah.
As you begin to concentrate on it, the Red Lady No, she stays for a moment. The phoenix moves up and alights on your neck right here. And it burns like nothing you've ever felt before, and yet it doesn't hurt. It just burns. The two feelings are disconnected. Usually burning is most closely associated with pain, but not now. Now it is associated with rebirth, with life, with purity. And before you, the fire streaks down and attempts to call to Lustitia's soul. And the soul answers. And a body begins to form in the flames, born among the fires. Doesn't look quite as you remember it. Doesn't have the wings. The tattoos are less prevalent on most of her body. She does still have a few. One on her shoulder, one around her hip, but not like she did before. Her flesh still is now a deeper red. Looks just like yours, in fact. Her eyes are now a brilliant amber orange instead of purple. Her horns curl back, some gold rings clasping on them as they go. And her eyes open. What?
This is fascinating.
One word for it.
Cerberus, your divine sense no longer senses a fiend in the room. And then she lunges forward and hugs Caldana.
Caldana, like, surprised for a couple heartbeats and then hugs her back.
The Red Lady nods. No dread demon in history has ever been given a second chance. Do not waste it, Soraya. She looks up and does not look like she knows what to say. She looks very lost and very confused and very scared, but clinging on to Caldana. And the Red Lady turns, and with one final look to you, Caldana, she nods. It was good enough for me, but only you could make that decision. That is what I like about mortals. Make your own choices. Best of luck. And she turns and walks out of the room before vanishing. Anyone looking at Caldana will see that her tattoo no longer seems animate. It's no longer moving. It is just a plain phoenix tattoo on her neck, right where it had burned.
You murdered it.
Congratulations.
Caldana,
Chicken.
you do still have all the benefits of your tattoo. It hasn't left, but the tattoo is no longer animate.
Cerberus will turn briefly to Rialto. The dark presence is gone. And if no one stops him, he's going to turn and exit the room.
She won't stop him for right now, but she will look to the rest of everyone and look to Soraya, is it?
She has to stop for a moment before she nods. Yeah.
Spelling.
Sorry.
Hmm?
Thank you.
Damn it. I spelled it wrong in the thing.
Oh, like Surya.
Yep, Soraya. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was referring to the Hindu goddess.
Gotcha.
I certainly wouldn't go by your other name anymore.
No.
But, it seems that the essence of the dread demon is gone within you.
Yes. Can tell. Can't, I don't remember, or I don't know the things that I once did. Save for what I remember. She gives you a wink, Rialto.
What?
She looks a little confused at that.
You guys
Uh,
kiss?
Huh?
Soraya looks at you. She loved you too.
She her eyes go very wide, and she kind of grits her teeth. In any regard, dread demon of lust, you are no longer, yes?
She raises her hand up and tries to snap her fingers to do a spell, which just fizzles. No. Not anymore.
Right.
My spark is gone.
Your spark is gone.
Yes.
Well, I suppose then that means there's no risk of you returning to being a dread demon, which is, I suppose, some comfort.
What about
Wow.
your knowledge?
I remember many things. I may not have the full sum that I once did, but I remember a lot. And I know who has my spark, and that is not good.
Indeed.
Indeed.
That certainly is a problem.
Yes.
Can we count on your continued help in that regard?
Stops to think for a moment. I will help how I can. Well, I can't fight anymore. Well, maybe I could
Understood.
with some work. Maybe I could, but my magic is gone, and so too I'm assuming my ability with a whip, since I didn't have that before I ignited.
But within what capabilities you do.
Of course, I will assist how I can.
Then you're welcome as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you.
I'm just curious. Has she let go of Caldana?
No.
Okay, because Caldana hasn't let go either.
Okay.
Aww.
I believe we should perhaps give a little bit of space before. Anything else? I'll look to Brooks and Melody.
Nod and sort of help move out of the room.
She'll kind of give Soraya one last look, kind of narrow her eyes a bit, and then shake her head before leaving.
She winks back at you.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
She knows something.
I don't like that she knows something. She knows my secrets.
As they're left alone, Soraya looks at you, Caldana. Why? What? You? How? How did you do that?
Apparently, part of the Red Lady was in the tattoo,
Yes.
and I guess it was enough to bring you back.
You are preparing to go fight Scala, the Hell Plague. You don't think maybe that's something you might have needed at some point?
Somewhere, Cerberus is thinking, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it's fine.
Caldana, I don't know what blushing looks like on a tiefling.
Yeah.
But she kind of blushes a little bit.
I feel like other tieflings can probably spot it.
Even when you put it like that, I feel like it was still worth it.
She nods. Well, You have shown me a great deal of kindness. You know the strange thing about being the dread demon of lust and envy?
Think of a couple things.
So not
How to put this? Do you think Talia, goddess of fate, do you think she is fascinated by fate anymore, or do you think it has become rote for her? When you have experienced it for so long, when you've known it for so long, when it is part of who you are and what your destiny is and what you are, your nature, do you think it is still interesting and fun?
uh, I mean, I guess after a certain number of years, it has to get boring, right?
It does. When it is part of your nature and part of what you're supposed to be, it becomes, well, it becomes work instead of fun. Anyway, I'm not the dread demon of lust and envy anymore, so I'm going to enjoy this. And she puts a hand on your chest and pushes you down onto your back on the bed.
That was fast.
And presuming you consent, we will fade to black.
Let's fade to black there.
Okay.
Very
And
surprised
close the
fade to
door.
black.
I don't understand what happened.
It's
What
okay,
happened?
neither does, thankfully, we don't have to explain this to Melody.
Is like
That is
a
true.
spell? Are they doing
is
a
true.
magic spell? What's happening?
I mean,
Yes.
sometimes it does create life sometimes.
Can I get is
Jumping-
it a feat?
Jumping to the rest of the party, you have all exited. By now, it is very late. You didn't return to Moon Bay until nearly 10 or 11 o'clock. By now, it's almost 1 in the morning.
I did want to check on Cerberus if he's okay.
He's waiting for everyone else
Okay.
outside. As he
Alright.
sees you guys coming. I suppose tomorrow morning we make leave for. Where is Caldana?
Talking with Soraya, I believe.
Alone?
Yes.
Interesting.
Well, Soraya is no longer a dread demon. So, therefore...
Evil is not purely consigned to demons.
True. But, corrupting forces are no longer supernatural.
I must give you that. So I suppose tomorrow we will, well, not Rock Tala, head to Stone's Throw.
Stone's Throw, indeed.
Who has the, this is Cerberus asking, who has the communication with the Grand Inquisitor?
If it's not Melody, then it is myself.
We will need to send a report.
I agree. She kind of frowns at this. Perhaps this is not a logical approach, but I was hoping perhaps we could let Inquisitor Sunvale know before we make the report.
Ah. Yes, he deserves to know what happened.
But if we all wish to make it now, or perhaps tomorrow morning, I will not prevent that from happening. Just
Technically,
feeling.
until we ask Melody to cast Sending, we don't have a choice. The Sending Stone goes to the other Sending Stone. If Sunvale has the other Sending Stone at the moment, we're fine. If the Grand Inquisitor still does.
True. I believe the Grand Inquisitor does have the Sending Stone, but
Last
Sunvale,
we checked, that was the case.
but Sunvale is in Stone's Throw.
Oh, you're suggesting we travel to Stone's Throw first.
Perhaps, but I also will not. That's just a gut feeling. It's not by any logical sense.
Rialto,
Yes.
how do you do it?
Do what?
the dread demon of hate is alive, and you are concerned that we get to speak and ease a man's feelings about his mother's death first. That is kind of you. It'll take us days of travel, potentially, and never mind. I'm sure you're right.
Well,
I don't know. This is not what I thought it would be.
it is not just that.
Hmm.
The Grand Inquisitor, my brother is currently in the place where the diadem is, and he suddenly knows how to talk to fiends, and was put in that
Wait.
position by the Grand Inquisitor.
Oh.
So as much as, yes, I would like to help Inquisitor Sunvale, as I have an understanding of losing a
You're
parent.
saying we can't trust the Grand Inquisitor either?
I don't know. It is merely a feeling that may not have any logical sense to it.
How many allies are going to betray us?
That I do not know the answer to.
What do we do about Caldana?
Well, I'm not sure if there's exactly a test for loyalty, but,
Loyalty.
not loyalty, sorry.
She was possessed,
Mm,
and she lied to conceal the demon, and believed everything it said. She is a liability. I thought she was strong, but
well,
I was once again taken in. Easily. Coming out into this world, I thought I didn't understand it. I tried to open my mind a bit. I was wrong. And we could have all been killed for that. Or worse.
haven't lost fully. Or at least I guess I do not see it quite that way.
How so?
Well, I think once upon a time it would have been very simple to say that, of course, if a dread demon is in your mind, which I understand is a very strange sentence to say, therefore corrupts your mind, therefore evil. But there's lots of things I don't understand, and I know that. I'm not saying that what happened was good, but maybe it wasn't evil.
In your quest to understand, Rialta, what will happen if you die with that book unfinished? What will happen if in your inquisitiveness it doesn't matter? Because we are betrayed and tricked. There have been people doing this for hundreds of years, Rialta. The answers are not hidden. They are not mysterious. They are not difficult to understand. The dread demons corrupt and manipulate everything we do. Whatever Serana, or whatever her name is, was, she stopped being that. And by her own admission, the one good thing she did in her entire miserable, wretched life was to fade away and finally accept some God's damned responsibility for what she did. She even admitted she was too weak to end it when she should have, herself. And we have rewarded that failure. And once again, from high up on heaven, some entity, some god, walks down and tells us how it will be. I thought being chosen for this would be an adventure in valor. We are facing a great evil. The answers are simple, Rialta. It dies. I'm not sure how stupid the rest of you think I am. But I will tell you this. I am aware of my shortcomings. And my distrust of manipulators, liars, and those that consort with demonkind is not one of them, or any of them. Good men and women have died and not gotten a second chance. And now there is some rat in flesh, given divine recreation, eternal life, and the gods sanction it? I'll tell you, whatever quest we're on, it is not a just one. We had a chance to see justice today. Instead, we saw infantile perversion. I hate it, Rialta. I hate it.
Well,
Sir Varus, I'd like you to make a charisma saving throw for me.
Oh, I get my I'm level 6 now, right? So I got my big bonus.
Yeah,
big
that is level
boner
6. Yes,
bonus.
correct. Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right. Charisma save. So that 19 gets a +3 to it because of my aura.
Nice.
20.
So 22.
You do not feel anything, but you do hear a voice in your head. Good.
Perhaps I am just tired.
Hatred comes in many forms.
No, not hatred, not
You said you-
justice.
I know, but you said you hate
I
it.
know what I said! Rialta. Why don't you write it down in your book?
You know, you remind me of when my brother was grieving.
What?
He said all sorts of things like this. He was immeasurably sad. And, I mean, this is what he sounded like.
What do I have to grieve for, Rialta?
I think a lot. Based on what you've been saying this whole time. I mean, your order, the gods you worshipped, justice, what just happened, what someone from your order did that you taught us just earlier. It sounds like you have, you don't mind me saying so, a lot to grieve. Grief is not just when someone dies. It's when something that you thought you had is gone, and nothing you will do will bring it back. That's what I think, at least. But, maybe I'll just have to write it down and figure it out someday, too.
I'm sorry, Rialta. That was unkind of me and unfair.
I forgive you. This
Gods be damned, you are a wise woman.
is... I'm just glad I finally learned how to, I guess, express it to others. Was never very good at that. Trust me.
How are you?
Me?
You told me about your brother just now.
I'm terrified. I don't know what he's done. And there are many things that I need to be strong for. And he is one of them. I will be fine. But I cope differently. When my father died, my people have a very specific thing we do in periods of mourning. We call it encircling. I believe I expressed this to Brooks the other day. Those who are most directly affected by the grief are in the center, and those around it that are secondary provide assistance, those around them provide assistance to them, etc. You are encircled. And it is one of the hardest moments of anyone's life to go through that. You are never your best self. But you learn to carry that loss. It never goes away. And you just rely on the fact that when you can't be strong enough to go, someone right outside you will. So, Sir Varys, while you are in the center of your grief, allow me to encircle you and help you keep going.
That's kind of you to say. You know, our druids had a circle too, though less literal and more looking at trees and the entrails of dead birds.
We do not use entrails of dead birds, but we draw circles that are meant for constellation maps on the ground in snow. It's not easy, actually. I hated that lesson.
Both were sources of great compassion, it sounds like.
Yes, indeed.
I would beg one thing of you.
Yes?
Please do not tell Caldana or Soraya what I said.
I will.
It was weak of me.
I don't think it was weak. I think it was...
It's all right, Rialto.
Well, you said in the encircling, so it doesn't count.
Right. Very well. Please, Madam Druid, what is your wisdom?
Sleep, actually. That is my main wisdom. It is late, and I will listen to all other wisdom that is not my own clouded judgment of whether to immediately speak to the Grand Inquisitor. I just ask that maybe, well, if we either do it now or wait until morning or what have you.
Let's wait till everyone's at their best. Rested, like you said.
Very
And,
well.
my master, the owl I talked about. I thought he was very wise. I still think he was. When I was very, very young, he let me know that fear, it is just the precursor to courage. So have heart. You have all the prerequisites for doing exactly what is needed for your brother. A courageous heart and a loving one will always conquer evil, at least in the stories. And, gods be damned, they conquered death today. So.
True. Thank you. I will write that down. I know your people don't write things down, but...
My people are gone, Rialta.
Well,
whatever comes next, I would be honored if you were the one to start it.
Fresh page.
Sir Varys will look back up at the window where the two tieflings are doing all kinds of butt stuff.
Mhm.
And
There's no window into that room.
The general area.
Yeah.
and nod gravely at it in an apology to no one. And nod goodbye, and unless anyone stops him, he's going to head to the tavern to go to bed.
No.
There is a voice that stops you. A very small voice of a very young priestess who lost her mother today. She doesn't say much, just one thing. Killing is seldom simple and never justice. And she leaves to go to bed.
Oh, I was gonna say something to
Oh,
her.
you can say that.
That's okay with her whenever you're done. I was gonna have Varys finish the scene.
Oh, Cerberus just nods. That's another thing to unlearn, then.
I mean, what does she know? She's 8.
Cerberus doesn't often think he has the right to judge children based on a couple of events.
You know what? That's fair. You've
Yeah.
done wrong by a few kids.
Yeah.
One in
so,
particular.
Definitely the one he didn't do right by.
Hey, at least you know her name now. Well, Varys doesn't, but you do.
Yeah, neither do. Yeah, Varys didn't give her a name. They told him not to. So.
No, don't worry. Lieutenant Rayner gave her a name.
Who?
Lieutenant Rayner.
What? That son of a bitch!
Did you not realize that opening vignette was him with your daughter?
I didn't understand it was Lieutenant Rayner. Cerberus he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
For some reason, he's inexplicably furious.
It's that the rage is coming back. He doesn't know what to do. The
Yeah.
voice is coming back. Just goes, yes, unlimited power.
I don't mean to take up more of the scene. Brooks, was there something you wanted to do? I just
Yeah,
wanted to say a
please.
quick few words to Yuki, that's all. So
No, as far as that, it would just be having a conversation with Melody, which you can shove off till next week for
Yep.
obvious reasons.
Sure.
All right, then go ahead, Rialto. You can talk to Yuki.
she'll just kind of approach her. I'd say she kneels down, but I'm pretty sure she's Yuki's height, so
Yeah, they're pretty similar. Yuki's quite tall for her age.
I just wanted to give my condolences once again for your mother, and everyone's going to tell you that you should be happy for the time you have with her, and I want you to know that they don't understand that no time is enough time.
I have known for the last 3 years that I wasn't going to have her for much longer. She turned down divinity for me. What more can I ask?
Desires don't work that way,
Maybe not.
but if you can find solace in it, that's wonderful.
Can I be honest with you?
Of course.
I was angry for a very long time. I didn't want her to be a god. I didn't think it was fair that she had the divine spark. Why did my mom have to have that? I wondered sometimes if she thought the same. If she could have chosen to give it up, would she have? I'll never know. But, well. I can't stay here.
Where will you go? Where could you go? Do you want to come with us for your brother?
Well, he's the only family I have left. I suppose I should She looks nervous. He's never had time for me.
Well, maybe he needs to make some time. At the very least, he can make some time to figure out what is best for you.
Yeah. I will go to Stone's Throw as well. And see him.
Well, then be ready in the morning, and you can come with us. I think you will be more protected that way unless Captain Elspeth wishes to see you off.
Oh, I'm certain she will come with me to Stone's Throw. If she's not needed here to defend the city. Scala had no love for Moon Bay, is my understanding. If she is to attack somewhere, here is a good bet.
True.
Thank you, Miss Rialto.
Of course.
I'm a priestess of Laki. I can feel her blessing on you.
Yes, I suppose we have something of remnants. No spark, but...
Maybe not. But, well. Maybe that doesn't matter anymore.
How so?
I don't know. Like, the spark is getting rarer all the time. Every generation that passes, there are less who have it. But the world keeps going. It has always gone. And as there are less gods and goddesses, so too will there be less dread demons. Maybe it's time for those without her light to be the defenders of this world. Maybe that's why they chose you.
It's a very astute theory. I'm going to write that down.
Astute theory. She nods.
Who tooted?
I'm gonna go to bed.
Get some sleep.
Good night, Rialto.
Good night, Yuki.
Brox,
Yes.
as you get up to your room, you all make your way back to the Twilight's Rest Inn. As you get back into your room, you see Talia waiting for you there. As if she knew you would be here. And as you enter the room, you see that you are indeed walking along a line of fate. One of your many threads. She looks over at you. Ah. Well, you were later than I expected.
Good evening.
Good evening, Brooks. I don't know why I'm here. Which must be a weird thing to hear from a goddess.
Yourself in particular.
Indeed. No, people forget about us. We're all mortal. We're all people. People think that we're supposed to be the pinnacle, that we're supposed to know all and see all and make the right decisions always. We're still just people, even though our nature has been changed somewhat. Even we are infallible, or are fallible at times. More often than I think any of us care to admit. I saw what Caldana did.
I'm sure that will have a wide-ranging effect.
It is difficult Many threads exist coming from her. I do not know yet which one it will be that she follows. We shall see, I suppose.
Did you foresee her choice happening?
I foresaw it as a possibility, as always. One of many. Although a rare one. Many things had to happen just right for that moment to come to pass. We are approaching that moment, Brooks. Quickly. It will soon be upon us. That moment where points stop diverging and start converging again.
I see.
We are very near it now. And either we will continue to diverge, or the beginning of the end of all things will happen. Perhaps that's why I'm here. Perhaps even after all these years, I can't yet deal with the reality of that moment approaching. I've dreaded it since I was 12.
We'll do what we can.
That I do believe. If seeing the Queen of Darkness herself doesn't sway you from your path, I can't imagine anything would. It would sway me from mine.
Well, certainly can't do anything to change it if we give up now.
She smiles.
Presumably, doing so would to that.
She smiles very widely and almost gets misty-eyed. Mortals are beautiful. I wish that you all could understand how perfect and wonderful you actually all are. Perfect in your faults and your flaws and your willingness to overcome them. Caldana saw something in someone. Maybe that is the gift the Red Lady granted her, the sight. Or maybe she never needed it. Maybe she would have seen that in Soraya, one way or another. She looks at one of the threads. Caldana will need your help soon. You will be in pain.
Anything more?
You will know it when you see it.
Nod at her.
Good luck in Stone's Throw, Brooks. And remember, as the Red Lady granted a portion of her abilities to Caldana, so too did I to you. When you believe that all your options have become exhausted, think on the tattoo you bear, and you will have my abilities at your discretion.
I'll do my best to remember that.
And she disappears. And the night passes peacefully, for the most part. As dawn approaches, the light begins to break over the horizon and cover Moon Bay. Caldana, you're the first to awaken that morning. What do you do?
Put her pants on.
Not a terrible start.
How early are we talking?
I mean, it's shortly after dawn. We're probably 10 after 6-ish.
Ew.
Morning person time.
Probably snuggle back into Soraya if she's still in bed.
She is not still in bed.
Oh, well,
She is the bed.
awkward.
Awkward. I started making out with his pillow. That's pretty fucked up.
I guess she'll get up.
Mm-hmm. As you get up, or as you start to move on the bed, your hand comes to rest on something.
It's a titty.
There's a piece of paper that you have in your hand now.
Oh no, it's gonna turn into an NTR.
I'm not even gonna ask Barrett. What does the paper say?
It says, Dear Caldana, I have no doubt this letter will hurt you, or at the very least, will not be what you hope to return to hope to see this day. I wish to say thank you for so many things, for allowing me a place within your mind, for trusting me for a night in your body, for having faith in me when no one else would have or should have, and for your sacrifice to give me a second chance. For hundreds of years, I have been a monster, and I am not yet certain that I can be anything but. I intend to find out, however. I will not waste the chance I have been given, and I hope and pray that one day I might return to you, a better person than the one who leaves you this night. It is my fondest wish that I might grow closer to each of the whispers in silence, but especially to you, Caldana. And I will, when I am someone worthy of doing so. And know you this, you have done terrible things in your life as well, but you yourself are the proof that anyone can be better if they so choose it. It is your words and deeds that serve as my guide, and I will be keeping an eye on the horizon and an ear to the ground for tales of your adventures. May you ever walk in her light. With love, Soraya.
Gonna take a minute to process that. Probably a couple of tears. You will. I believe in you. And then she'll get up.
You awaken, as does everyone, slowly but surely, as you all start to, the four of you anyway, start to gather in the inn. Caldana, you're still at the Temple of the Onrado, and people are like, hey, you gots to go.
Right.
That was not what that room was for.
She got some of that tussy. Now time to go home. You know what I'm saying?
Gotta
Get
send in the special cleaning crew. It's
You desecrated it at that
on
point.
the wall. Oh my god!
As the morning starts, though, you are each of you greeted by the sound of a war horn.
Oh, that sounds right.
And that is where we will leave off tonight.